obviously, Stephen being white and me being black was... Some people had problems with that, you know. My first boyfriend was in Nigeria when I was growing up, and I was not in love with him because I got over him like that. When you're young, you don't know whether you're in love or not. But I think really, when I first saw Stephen, who I'm married to now, I think that was when I fell in love. I mean, I looked at him and I thought, he's too polished. And I thought, gosh, what a gorgeous looking man. There was something shy about him. There was something gentle. And he was, he looked like an angel. So I guess it was love. I was in a show called Black Mikado, and he owned a theater with Larry Barnes. I didn't know who owned the theater at the time, wasn't interested. I didn't even know the theater was owned by anybody. So we were doing a rehearsal, and he came and introduced himself. This shy man came up to me and said, we're doing a recording with an actress called Anushka Hempel, I think her name was. And he said, the recording is not going very well. We're looking for somebody to put a voice on, and would like you to do it. And I thought, okay. And he said, well, I'll pick you up after, and we will discuss. I'll tell you about the recording. I said, fine, okay. So he picks me up and takes me to the Dorchester Hotel. How to impress. We talked about the recording and everything, and on a taxi, dropping me home to my flat, because I had a flat in Chelsea. He said to me, will you marry me? I went, I've got a right one here. Cuckoo.
Cue her, take two.
We had to work together, record together. And then at the time, I found out he was married, had 4 children. And, so I just thought, okay, it's this joker. But it's really strange because we grew closer. I mean, I had to see him all the time because we were recording. He was in the studio all the time, and he was always shy. He was quiet. But, he would, if I needed to be picked up, he'll be the one to pick me up and take me to the studio. And he'll be the one to drop me off at the studio. It's funny because it sort of developed into an affair, which I'm ashamed to say. It developed into an affair. And a lot of people were hurt along the way. His wife gave him an ultimatum, obviously, quite rightly. And he said, I think maybe I should just, give my marriage another. I said, it's a wise idea. Because, I said to him, listen, I am African, you don't know anything about me, you don't know anything about my customs, you don't know, you just... And 2 weeks without him, without seeing him, absolute hell. Absolute hell. But he came back one day, just turned up at my flat and said, can't do it. He said, can't do it. I'm sorry, I have to be with you, can't do it. And I said to him, oh gosh, no. I don't know, you're making a mistake here. Because I was worried, I am very young. And I thought, well, I was in my 20s. I was, actually just coming to 20. I thought, oh, how do, panic. So I said to him, okay. He said, no, I want to marry you. And I said, oh, mistake. You have to speak to my mother. You have to get my mother's opinion. You have to get my mother's approval. You have to... I said, you crazy. I said, there's a pyramid behind me. You see me, there are hundreds of people. I have an extended family. And I said, by the time they all finish with you, I'm sure you want to go back to your wife. My mother came to visit. And I said to him, he said, well, just give me what good points do I have that I could... He said, I'm twice married, 4 children in tow, white. He said, what exactly are my good points? I said, I don't know. I said, you just have to... I said, she's a very wise woman. She has 8 children. I'm number 7. And the 8, well, number 6, because we lost 1. I said, so she will, whatever she says, but what if she doesn't like me? I said, we have a very long engagement. And my dear husband, dear Stephen then, he came to see my mother. He was white as sheet. I've never seen anyone so nervous, you know. And they spent 2 hours. 2 hours. I thought, what are they doing? So I thought, well, give them time. When he finally came out, I said, how'd he go? He said, oh, you've been sold to me lock, stock, and barrel. Obviously, Stephen being white and me being black was, some people had problems with that, you know. We didn't. I mean, my stepdaughters were wonderful. My stepdaughters were absolutely fantastic. As a matter of fact, funny enough, my husband's first mother-in-law was, I mean, everybody thought she was my mother-in-law. She was just wonderful. She loved me. She adopted me. And for us, it was no problem. I think because of the way Stephen really didn't see anything else, because Stephen was brought up in Singapore when he was little. He was the only white boy in a Chinese school. So he understands the race thing, being different. But he didn't, the thing I loved about him, there was no white, black thing. And other people had a problem with it, but who cares? I was touring when Stephen proposed to me, and I had a wonderful, wonderful PR man called Richard Laver. And we said, okay, Richard, you handle the arrangement. I got a call from Richard, and he said, now, what color flowers do you want for tomorrow? Because I ordered the flowers, but I just want to make sure I've done the right thing. And flowers. Tomorrow. What do you need flowers for, Richard? He said, for your wedding. I went, wedding? Tomorrow? What? What? Tomorrow? He said, yes, Patti. Don't tell me. No dress. So Patti drove all the way to New Bond Street, 5:30. Shops were closing. And I went to a place. There was a shop called Christina there. And she was just closing. I went, please, please, please open the door. Please, please, please. She went, put my hand away. I said, please, I'm getting married tomorrow. This is September. I said, I'm getting married tomorrow. I don't care what you have, anything light colored, cream, anything, please. She went, you're getting married? I said, please, I swear, I'm getting married tomorrow. And when I came in, she spent an hour. The woman was lovely. She spent an hour. She was talking to me because she could not believe I was really getting married the next day. And I didn't have my wedding dress, yeah? So I had this simple cream dress, which was, you know, kind of woolly. And as God will have it, 15 years later, we got married in a church. So I got out a big dress. That, again, I had everything planned in 2 weeks. We had about 250 people at the church wedding. And then that was quite nice. That was really lovely. I sort of tried very hard. I couldn't do the white blancmange dress thing. So I did a cream blancmange dress thing, which I designed myself. And I made my headgear myself. I had kind of this turban. I looked like Genghis Khan. And I used to love beading. So I beaded the hat, and it's kind of like a turban. It looked like a mask, actually, like the top of a mask. Anyway, it was fun. It was my wedding day, and I was getting married. I wasn't nervous. I was getting married to a man I loved so much. Okay, guys. Many years ago, I had, you know how children write letters to Santa Claus? Well, I had in mind the kind of husband I wanted and wrote it down in a letter to God. Dear God. That's how it started. When I get married, I want a man who is, I had a whole list. The only thing I didn't mention was the color. And I tell you, when I found the paper years later, Stephen ticked off all the list. I mean, who says prayers doesn't get answered? He's gentle, he is kind, he is the most considerate person, he is my best friend. I'm trying to find a word to describe my Stephen. He is, he is one of the best gifts God's ever given me.